Today we're going to be reviewing the AGPTEK LED 500. I'm going to go through and show you some fog that it is creating and go over how it works and the pros and cons on the machine. This is a machine that I purchased that I thought was a good price and would do really well for me. It's got some cool features like 8 lights that are all colored on the front. And this is also brought to you by wildfog.com. That's my website, and this is WildFog. So if you're interested in fog machines, diffusers, things like that, anything with fog and mist, this is a channel for you. Please do me a favor and subscribe. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this review and let me show you more about this machine. The machine's not too heavy, though with fog fluid in it, it does go ahead and get a bit heavier. I saw the lights and I thought this would work good as a Haze machine. I did try Haze fluid in it, but unfortunately it doesn't really do well with the Haze portion. So you're probably going to do more of this as just a regular fog machine, because the Haze fluid is going to be used more for a more expensive machine, where this is more of an inexpensive machine. The quick difference is fog is just going to do that. It's going to create fog for a spooky, haunted effect, where Haze fluid is really thin, lingers in the air longer, and works really well with laser lights. Concerts use those, and they can fill a room once and it could stay in the air for several hours. Meanwhile, fog needs to keep pumping because it disperses after so many minutes. To use this machine, all you need to do is first fill it with fog fluid. You open up this area here and you pull this out and you fill it with the fog fluid you'd like. I tried 2 different fluids. I tried a Haze fluid and a regular fluid, and I'll show you the results on those. You're going to also notice this nozzle. This nozzle must be submerged in the fog fluid because that's how it picks it up. So make sure you have enough in there. It's laying on the bottom, and then go ahead and just screw this in. If you're not sure how much fluid is left, you can look on the back. There is a separator right here. And if you look in there closely enough, you can see the fog fluid level, so you know if it's getting low. If it is low, fill it up or stop using it. You do need 1 power plug here. This is not something you can charge up. You have to keep it plugged in. And then you have another thing that goes through and shows you when it's heated up. When it's heated up, this button turns red here, and then you can push this, and when you push it, it's going to produce fog for about 20 seconds. After 20 seconds, it's going to stop producing fog and pretty much warm back up because it cools off. You got to remember, the cheaper machines like this, the heaters aren't as good, so it can't continue to pump out fog nonstop. It needs a break. And then when you're ready, you need to hit the button again or hit the remote. This is what the remote looks like. You can slide it up to keep it safe, and then you have the lock and unlock. If you unlock it, it's going to start the fog machine for 20 seconds, and then you can lock it again and it'll turn it off, or just wait to 20 seconds and then it'll turn itself off. The reason you don't need something to pump fog in like crazy is because it does put out a good amount of fog quickly. So because it produces so much fog, if you're using this indoors, you're going to be at the point where you don't need any more for a while. If you're using it outdoors, you could just sit on the remote, and anytime someone comes by for candy, you hit the button and the fog starts producing. I did use it with Haze fluid. This is what it looks like here. Let's hit the button. I am a little far back. We'll zoom out a bit. You can see it's a good amount of fog. It is a bit windy out here. And I tried this in my room and it quickly overtook my room. So it's not something you can do inside of a room, unless it's a larger room. So we do have laser lights. You can't really see it. It doesn't really reflect off of the haze smoke. You can see the lights on the end of the fogger, but not for very far. And then I also did use FogWorks fluid here. You can tell the Haze fluid is lighter, and it was a little windier when I was using that, but you can see that it does go ahead and shows the light off a little bit better. The other one is much more powerful smoke and was a lot harder to see through when I got closer to it, so it depends what you're looking for. Keep in mind the Haze fluid for 1 gallon was only 20% more of what I paid for the works. So if I mark that out in prices, to get 1 gallon of works, I would be paying $80, where I paid $25 for the Haze fluid. Overall, it really depends if you're looking for denser smoke or lighter smoke. If the lighter smoke is good enough for you and the lights do seem to shine in front of the machine a little better at that point, then I would just go with the Haze fluid and save yourself some money. They're both water-based, so keep that in mind when you're picking it up. I'll have the links for the machine and the fluids down below to make sure you get the correct thing. Before I get to the review and let you know what I think of the machine, let's continue to look over a few more things. We do have buttons here for the lights and the fog. If we turn the lights on, it will go ahead and power the lights in the front, and they are different colors. You cannot change the colors, unfortunately. There is a version of the machine where you can. I'm going to go ahead and have that linked below because I kind of think that one is worth upgrading to. It has 2 main features that I've noticed. It has a remote to change the colors of the lights instead of having a static light like this, and it also has a bigger handle. Not that this handle is bad, but I do have bigger hands and they just fit in there, but the other one is in the front and it's better to hold it that way, I think, because it's pointed this way. So overall, if I had to do one thing over again, I would pay the extra, I think it's $13, and get the one where I can change the color of the lights. If the lights are not important to you or you don't want to change them, then this is more your speed because you could just turn it off or you could turn it on. The lights do work on without the machine being turned on, generating fog, so that's another cool feature. There are a few things here to note. It says adults must be available to operate the machine. You know, risk of fire, so be very careful when you're replacing the fuse. If you need to, you can only replace it with the same size. And you don't want to put it on a carpet, you want to put it on something. There are legs here to keep it propped up, but you don't want to have it on something that's burnable, and you don't want to have it near anything that can explode. For example, fireworks, because especially this area, because it will say here it can go ahead and cause that stuff to explode. So all flammable objects, keep away from the fog machine. The tank does hold a good amount, 0.3 liters, and I felt that that was plenty to run it for a long period of time. I had no problem with that. It does say it contains 2,000 cubic feet of fog in a minute with a distance of 2 to 3 meters, and I feel like the fog output on this is very adequate. It could definitely work for me in a larger room. Again, this bedroom probably a little too small. It filled it up really quickly. If I want to use it indoors, I'd be looking for a little bit bigger of a space with more ventilation. But again, you can control it just by hitting the button. So overall, my thoughts on the AGPTEK 500. Again, I would have upgraded to the next version up for $13 more just to go ahead and get the extra features of being able to change the lighting. Also have that extra handle available. Other than that, this is great just for producing fog. It does what it says. You want to make sure you keep the fluid in it and not let it run out. Would I purchase it again? I would say I would go to the next version, as I mentioned, with the color changing lights. But other than that, the machine itself works well. If I didn't care about the colors of the lights, I would be fine with this one. Now, the lights don't really make a huge difference because they're just in the front, but it will show the fog looking like different colors, especially when it's darker out. The videos I showed, it was lighter out, so with a darker area, you're looking to amplify that light a lot. The machine takes about 2 to 3 minutes to heat up depending on the temperature. When I was outside and it was 40 some, it took a while. When I was inside, it was much quicker. So it really depends. And then after your fog is used for about 20 seconds, it then needs to heat back up to do it again. You do hear a click, and when you hear that click, that basically means it's ready. And then you can hit the remote if you want more fog right there, or give it some time till you're ready for it. That's AGPTEK 500. I hope you enjoyed this review. I do have links for the products down below if you want to support this channel. By using those links, it helps me purchase more products so I can do more reviews for you and show you everything that's out there. Great little fog machine at a great price. Can't go wrong if you're on a budget. Again, purchasing the Haze fluid will also save you because you'll be able to use a lot of it for this fog machine before you run out, and you'll have the whole 1 gallon. If you're looking for any more information, please check out wildfog.com, and thank you so much for the view.